Wait, hold on. Don't tell me I didn't record this motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. I hope you guys are recording him saying this shit. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle from the Crib Nadeska Academics. And Wayno here on Friday, Craig, our stage manager, just gave us a great fun fact. On this day, I forgot how many years ago, I just screwed that up, Kendrick won his Pulitzer Prize for Damn. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, we just told us like 2 seconds ago. The weed's fucking up already. That's actually really
I quit smoking weed. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was 3 years ago.
Oh, listen, I will say though, I'm losing my voice a little. Hey, any type of illness or anything that goes wrong with you nowadays, you almost got to give a disclaimer to let people know it's not the coronavirus. I was up late, which I think everybody's sleep schedule is fucked up, like arguing and shouting, which is bad for obviously talking daily. But my voice is a little bit gone, but it should be back on Monday.
Ak, you told us the whole story yesterday of what happened at the drive-thru. It's okay if you have coronavirus. We still love you. We got you, bro.
Do you think that's enough reason to go get tested?
Nah, man, you good, man. Just chill.
Those are hard to get.
Panicking.
I guess you should save them. Yeah, you're all right. Have some honey and some hot tea.
All right, ginger too.
What is he thinking about over there?
No,
all right, man.
Y'all tell me at-home remedies like it's gonna cure that. Like my mom keep texting me like these at-home remedies, like talking like I can't even read some of these. I love my mom, but I got to get her on Facebook. Facebook is the place where the most misinformation like spreads. Like I got to read you one of these, and like I don't even want to tell like your mom where's your source because it's my mom. But she was like, if you gargle with salt water, you can prevent the COVID-19, and it links to some weird ass website. I'm like, Mom,
she's West Indian. You have to give her a break. My mom's the same way. There's a lot of forwards on WhatsApp too. So all her like sisters in Grenada, they send all that stuff. Look, gargling with salt water does help a sore throat, but it probably does not cure coronavirus. We love your mom though. Shout out to her. She deals with you. That's a lot.
Shout out to Mama Demics.
Mama Demics. All right, man. So 6ix9ine's been home. I don't know. Has it been a full week yet? He's already been back on Instagram trolling, just sort of like Wayno predicted. Most recently, he hopped on Tory Lanez's quarantine radio in the comments saying, "Let me play you this new shit or I'm gonna snitch on you. You're not even from America. You're from Canada." Now, Tory definitely had a lot of fun with that. I watched this clip a couple of times. But any surprises here, Wayno?
Nah, I'm not surprised at all. I think, but he has no choice but to embrace, who he now is. He made his bed and he has to lay in it. Like the same way how he wanted to be, running around talking all the gangster shit. Now he has to embrace that. Me personally, I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's a joke. But that's his life. It's not mine. He got to look in the mirror after all of this. So. It ain't for a lot of people. It ain't that deep, but and even for me, it ain't really that deep because I don't got no dealings with him at all. But I just think that even playing with the situation, it just kind of sends the wrong message a bit.
I'm a bit surprised. I'll be honest with you. Coming from whether just trying to judge him morally, right? I don't think he thinks that ratting or being a snitch is a dope thing. So to internalize and accept like even that phrase or that name calling, I don't know if he's really accepting that that's what he did, but if he is, I'm a little bit shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I remember when I spoke to him a little bit prior to his release, and he kind of said it there. I was shocked then when he was like, yeah, like he was like the rap. He's like, a lot of these people might not fuck with me because I ratted. Like, just hearing that, I was a little bit shocked. But I think maybe while being locked up for, I guess, a couple months after his testimony, he probably just came to terms with it to say, okay, I ratted, but who cares? You know what I mean? Like, I do think that still requires some more explanation because I just don't know in any type of way, shape, or form where right now it is a joke on Instagram, like it seems funny, right? But I don't know how like you explain it away, right? But we are seeing a lot of people not give a fuck. So
yeah, I mean, the thing is that what I've also seen is that a lot of people have been like reluctant to say anything, and I just within the hip hop community, like a lot of people just not chiming in because but prior to him getting out, every time his name pops up on your page, just people in the comments saying certain shit, high level people. People haven't been doing that as much. I think that a lot of people just don't want to give him the attention because it's the next thing for him. I think that this is just another marketing tool for him, for real. And when we had our debate before, I said I don't think anybody knows what he's gonna do, but I did believe that he was gonna take this and embrace it because what other choice does he have? You know what I mean? Like I don't think he has another choice, but I just think it sends the wrong message to your fan base, regardless if they kids and they don't care or not. Like joking about it and making light of it in a funny manner just shows your neglect for the seriousness of your situation, regardless to you ratting or not. Like that shit is very serious. Of course, I'm not looking for him to be like this advocate to go speak at schools and say, hey man, I told to do the best thing for my family. But at the same time, I'm just looking at it like, dog, this is why kids troll and will continue to troll and put themselves in tough situations.
See, if you asked me, right? And by the way, part of your argument is kind of when I lost my voice last night because I was, having kind of a couple of heated arguments with some people I know about that, and I'll get to that. But I was a bit surprised about this angle. I know you predicted all along, like, yo, he's gonna come out and troll and really not kind of give a fuck. But I really.
But what did you think? I mean, I feel like I remember you mentioning on the show a few months ago that you thought he was gonna sort of like button it up a little. Yeah, but then who would his audience be if people know him entirely for his whole career, as long as it has been or should it has been being this person? How much can he really change and they would still embrace him?
I thought it would be the same audience. I thought that most of the audience that started to accept him was outside of hip hop, and they looked at him as a bridge into hip hop. And again, I'm sorry to say, like, he's not African American. Like I know the tattoos really stand out and all that. I know he's from Bushwick, Brooklyn, but he could get a rebrand with the "I Am Sorry" campaign. I was fooled. I was duped. Those big black scary men. I'm sorry. I'm serious. No, we have to be very cognizant of, like, for example, like, of course, this is not his story, but like, there's no one who's gonna feel bad for Bobby Shmurda. Like, yo, oh my God, this guy's a victim. But when you are of lighter complexion, when you go through that little rebellion phase, whether it's Miley's, and I know this is a little bit more extreme, way more violent than like a Miley Cyrus, kind of indulge in certain things, or even a Justin Bieber, who you saw embracing certain actions, they were able to kind of almost like denounce all that other shit they were doing, clean their act up, and basically, to be honest, go to higher heights. So I thought that might be the angle, just to continue the career as what Wayne.
But those people weren't always like that, right? They started out squeaky clean pop stars, and then they had their moment where they dabbled, and then they cleaned up again. This is the only 6ix9ine we've ever known.
I mean, but and also in them at their worst, tied together 10 times don't make up one. Don't make 6 months of 6ix9ine's antics. My question for you, academics, is this, because like I know we spoke about it before. You thought that he could do this rebrand stuff and all of that. It's already looking like that's not gonna happen. The whole everybody calling me a snitch. What I miss, the whole let me play some new shit. I'm a snitch on you. Where do you think that takes him for the rest of his career? What do you think about the angle that he carries with doing this type of shit?
I don't think that will last long. I think maybe initially that's the way to kind of embrace it, to kind of like, not have it be the dark horse. But I agree with you. You kind of have to have a little bit of accountability. And if people look at you like you haven't learned a fucking thing, when you have been to a situation where over 15 men got sent to jail, whether they were your friends or not, when they ended up being cool with you or not, and you were involved in such heavy situations that ripped apart so many lives. Again, the jokes might be cool on the gram at first, but if people don't see a little bit of either remorse or see that you learn a little bit, I don't think that's going to really pan out all the way in terms of his actions. Now, again, maybe the music works out. But to your point, which I really wanted to get to, this is why I was arguing last time. I'm telling you, man. I wish the show was on. I feel you said maybe artists haven't been vocal about him recently. We saw Mosey speak up like yesterday.
Yeah.
They haven't been vocal since he's got out because they want to give him attention. But I do find it very strange and ironic that while he was either on trial or incarcerated, we saw Meek Mill, we saw YG and others speak up. They were very vocal. They have been quiet as a mouse since he's been out. And honestly, the tidal wave is coming. They know it too. And if it feels like they conveniently said what they said then.
Come on, academic.
Wait, hold on. You know, there's a lot going on. You know, we're gonna jump in a second, but there's also a lot going on in the world right now. We're literally in the middle of a pandemic. People are losing jobs and lives. You're gonna chalk this all up to them just being quiet strategically over 6ix9ine?
So look, real quick. I don't think that this is strategic on anybody's part. And yeah, you know, hip hop and all that, but we talking about these are street issues that happen. When the type of guys that you mentioned in the Meeks, the YGs, whomever, when you take that certain type of role in life, you don't even speak on dudes who rap. You don't embrace them. You don't say nothing about them. Now, whether they vocalize this, what they felt about it at the moment when he was on trial, etc., that's one thing. But when all the dust is settled and he is who he is, ain't nobody mentioning him. There's no need to mention him. He don't exist. That's what happens when you do the type of shit he did. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that everyone who had a lot of comments to say, they should again, if you made those comments earlier to, you know, like for example, even Meek, you know, I think some of his comments were, you know, some people may say it came off as him either being jealous or whatever, but to some, his comments came off as, hey, he's warning other kids like, yo, don't go down this route. Now, I'm just saying, if you were giving those comments while he was incarcerated, now he's coming back out, and probably this is even a bigger proof or bigger reason why kids probably were like, oh, what he did definitely wasn't wrong. Like, he basically had a 2-year vacation, and he's bigger than he's ever been. I'm wondering if those rappers are going to be vocal now that he's out, because it, to me, is a little bit hypocritical that you
But
were
vocal in what
vocal.
way? Academics just doubling down on what they've already said?
No, even
what else is there to say?
Okay, I'll say this, right? Even saying, oh, listen, some of the stuff that's people are finding amusing, that's not cool. Like, we're not condoning that. We're not condoning the "I'm snitch on you" joke. Like, we're not condoning that. And I haven't seen many people weigh in on that as I was seeing before. And I also do wonder, because I saw certain people, like for example, and again, I'm just making observations. I found it a little bit interesting that 6ix9ine was free the whole time when Meek Mill was around, and we never heard comments about that until he got locked up. Now he's free. I hope Meek has the same energy. And again,
oh wow, come on, academic.
No, but it's not in a confrontational way. It's like, hey, listen. It felt like people became more vocal when they saw that he was away.
Hey man, you keep the same energy with him, he's gonna tell on you. He already said
it. I mean, you should expect it. You should expect it.
All right. Well, I think I doubt anyone wants to bring any more attention to him right now, but let's see. I'm sure this is just the beginning of his comeback rollout plan. In the meantime, Kanye did an interview with GQ. I think it's really important to note that this happened back in February. So he spoke a lot about the impact Kobe's death had on him, saying that Kobe was one of his best friends. He said he was a basketball version of me and I was a rap version of him, and that's facts. He also goes on to talk about the upcoming election. So he said, unlike 2016, he's definitely voting this time. And quote, you know, we know who I'm voting on, and I'm not going to be told by the people around me and the people that have either agenda that my career is going to be over, because guess what? I'm still here. Jesus is king was number one. So obviously he's talking about Trump. Again, important that this happened in February. A lot has happened since then. I don't know how close you guys have been following the news and the way Trump and the federal government have been handling this pandemic. It seems like we've lost a lot of people because they weren't prepared and didn't take this seriously. So I don't know. Thoughts on Kanye's comments now? Like, if he continues to support Trump, through the next few months, do you think, I don't know, this changes what people think of him at all, or at this point, is it what it is?
I'll say, let me say real quick. Yeah, I know I said a lot of shit about Kanye, but I still like Yeezys. I want to put that out there. I still like his sneakers. I've been seeing a lot of heat. I've been seeing a lot of heat. So if you see me wearing a pair of Yeezys, just forget all that shit I said about his sneaks. But I don't expect anything. I don't expect nothing any different from Kanye. I mean, I didn't think that his career was ever gonna be over. He's too big of an artist for his career to have ended. While I don't agree with the shit that he agrees with, that's cool. But I'm not surprised about nothing regarding no Donald Trump, where he's going out there to say that he's like a father to him and all that other weird shit. So, salute to that man. But I'm cool on those type of actions when it comes to Kanye's politics.
Yo, I can't believe what I just heard. Like,
those Yeezys, he's gonna fund Kanye's campaign at some point. It's gonna be all Wayno's fault.
Listen, I remember two things distinctly about Wayno really denouncing just how Kanye's been moving and how, some of the stances he's taking or some of, just actions he's done. Wayno said he ain't rocking no more Yeezys. I thought I heard him say that, okay? And then he said he ain't going to no Sunday service. I don't know what happened recently, but maybe a quarantine Yeezy mask showed up and he is now back on the bandwagon. But I will say in terms of Kanye, here's the thing. I don't think this is even news at all, honestly, right. If you ask me. And I know that you mentioned leading into the topic here, there's a lot of things that's happened recently. I want to have a serious discussion with anyone who's down to have it, and let's be real. The thoughts and whether rappers are not politicians, they're not up on politics. I'm telling you this because I'm seeing it, and I could give you 5 examples, and that's what I'm gonna go off. Most of the rappers who maybe they even like Trump or they didn't like him at first, they've warmed up to him. I seen and honestly, a lot of stuff isn't about policies or what he's done. A lot of people, just like Kanye, they're like, yo, I fuck with him just because he says what's on his mind.
I feel you, and I think 2 months ago, I could still understand how people felt like that. But at the moment in time that we're living in, this hopefully once in a lifetime experience for us, where people are dying and he is trying to point fingers and he's cutting funding to the World Health Organization when we need them more than ever. You're telling me people are not smart enough to watch some news, read a couple articles, and realize what's good? No? Okay.
We're talking about hip hop? Hold on, I'm being very honest, and I'm telling you, I was very shocked by this, and I remember reposting this, and I saw rappers actually. I would think that would be something, even if you did feel that way, you wouldn't say it. Kanye doesn't give a fuck, so Kanye would say it. Block Boy JB is after Trump made what a lot of people feel is an ignorant statement in terms of saying the coronavirus, when he explaining why he calls it the Chinese virus, he's like, it's from China, basically, right? That whole little meme thing. A lot of people are like, yo, we fuck with him just because he's just saying what he feels. Block Boy JB came out on record saying that. There was about 3 other rappers, and I remember I posted all of them, and I wanted to see the reaction if people were like, yo, whoa, you're cool with this guy? And most of the people were saying, we respect how he moves. He moves like he's gangster, which part of hip hop is about.
Well, cool. I hope they still respect him when they can't go back to doing shows till 2021 and their pockets are hurting. It's so stupid. The way they've handled this affects every single person. People who are graduating and you won't be able to find jobs for a couple of years, affecting our parents. They'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah, I don't think people look at the presidency as as some of the actual executive decisions that really affect our lives. Salute to Cardi B. I think she tries to, even though sometimes, we make fun of her, or I see people online make fun of her for not being super smart about everything, but it looks like she's trying. But for the most part, I do think that people look at whoever the president is and they're like, yo, even for Obama, they're like, yo, Obama was just a cool guy that you felt like you would kick it with. And for Trump, people may have not used to like him, but the dude's a reality show host. He's kind of warmed up to people. He's funny, charismatic, says what he wants, and he's kind of off the hinge most of the times. Which again, which I'm just saying what I've seen people not give a fuck about. We really underestimate or overestimate the regular people's like caring about the policies or even researching. No, I don't think they do that at all. A lot of people are.
That's why but that's why it's so important to guard your how you take your influencing, because if it like all these things like Trump has always been a person, even when he was on reality TV, he always was a person that people liked to watch, right? People rapped about him. Remember, Mac Miller made his biggest record at one point in time was Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like when Donald Trump embraced that record, everybody cheered for it, right? Now we talking about him being the president. There is, like you said, there's a difference between entertainers, rappers, and politics. And I think that people just gotta, if you're gonna say anything or get into politics, you gotta not be influenced by what a rapper does. But that's why, you know, how you take things in is so important. Like understanding these things. Like, yeah, we could say, you know, they're not gonna read policies and none of that, but maybe we should encourage that a little bit more, you know, because it affects people on the ground. Like Nadeska was saying, all of this stuff, how this pandemic is being handled is crazy, you know, but whatever.
And lastly, I've always said, listen, don't y'all kind of find it funny? Like they didn't like fucking. I mean, maybe they did rig the votes with Russia, but don't y'all kind of find it funny? Y'all really run into like Trump supporters, yet the dude is the president. There's mad people that fuck with Trump. They just don't say it. I'm telling you, niggas are getting a little bit bold now to say, like, again, when you have rappers tweeting out, man, I kind of fuck with that guy. He kind of sound gangster. And it's not Kanye who is used to the backlash. I feel like the tide is turning.
It's stupidity. That's period. Like I said, a couple months ago, I could completely understand. But if you are a reasonable, logical, sane person watching the news and you have people that you care about in your life, there's no way that you could support this guy still.
Period. Keep in mind, Nadeska, this news is fake. So, you know what I mean? So
I should turn off my comments later. I already know what's coming. Right. You know, enough of this.
And by the way, Blahboy JB tweeted this three weeks ago, so it's not like this was like pre-pandemic. I think they just like a guy who's funny in a press conference.
Right. Like funny in a stupid way. You said charismatic. I don't find him charismatic at all. That's like Obama. Anyway, let us move on. Let's have some fun. Enough of the serious things. 2 Chainz recently declared that he had the best verse on Mercy. He said on Instagram, no disrespect, but I killed all them boys. And during an appearance on the Rap podcast, Big Sean said he actually confronted Chainz about this and they had a friendly argument. Take a look.
What the fuck you talking about, bro? And he was like, no, I wasn't talking about you, bro. I was talking about the whole game. Like, obviously, everybody on there was going crazy. I'm like, oh, that's not how it seemed. And he was like, nah, bro. Like, because I told him, I was like, nigga, you know, as far as Mercy goes, I was the first one who did my verse on the song. Like, it was just the beat. And I freestyled my verse. Like, I did it without trying. And Kanye was the one who loved it so much. And I just remember always being in the studio and him telling niggas, everybody who was on the song, that nigga Sean went crazy. We all gotta come crazy, you know? So it was like I set the tone on that song.
All right, so that was Sean saying that he basically did his verse first and he freestyled it, so he really set the tone for the entire song. But let's debate. So Big Sean, Kanye, Pusha T, and 2 Chainz, who had the best verse on Mercy? Wait, no.
I agree with Chainz. Like I agree with Chainz. I think he had a very dope verse on it, but it was just funny how like Sean, like the whole thing with Sean said, and he was like, what did he say? He said, "Oh man, you really think you had the best verse?" Yeah, like, but then 2 Chainz kind of retracted it. What he said, he was like, "Oh, I meant everybody else in the game. I killed everybody in the game." Nah, I think 2 Chainz should stand on that. Like when Mercy came out, everybody was on Twitter, and that's at the time when 2 Chainz was unstoppable when it came to features. He was killing everybody's shit. So it's like, I believe that Chainz had the best verse. I don't think that he said anything wrong. He didn't say nobody was trash and no shit like that. He just said he had the best verse. I think like those type of honest conversations with those collaboration records is the shit that we always want to hear. Like, I want to know if Jadakiss feel like his verse is better than Styles. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know that. But, you know, it is what it is. But I think that Chainz had the best verse.
And I'm rocking my man, Big Sean. While I do believe 2 Chainz, I mean, honestly, if somebody said he had the best verse, I wouldn't be mad. I think this is coming from a lot of pent-up aggression, pent-up energy. And shit, I mean, if don't twist your face up like that, Wayne. I'm going to give you the explanation. If you even listen to some of the new music that he previewed, salute to In the Boy Wonder and Hit Boy Battle, where they previewed some of his new music. And even if you go back to his old interviews, I think he definitely felt really offended when people said his verse was basically just insignificant to like Kendrick on
You talking
Control.
about Sean? You talking about Sean?
Yeah, Big Sean. Yes. So I think this is where there's pent up aggression there. Like, yo, wait, hold up, man. Y'all don't see me rapping? Like,
Sean
what the
definitely
fuck?
think
You
niggas
get
is
me?
sleeping on him.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I always thought that, like, you know, people really overlook his verse on Control. Secondly, I always thought that he got Kendrick on the follow-up song that's kind of similar, which is Holy Key. Regardless, on that particular song, you know, I think people remembered for being in the midst of 2 Chainz run. Do I think it's just like bar for bar, just better than anything that Sean said on the song? I mean, not really, but I would kind of also go with Chainz with that. But I do think that people don't give Big Sean remotely nearly the respect, and I think that's why he brings up even the fact like, yo, wait, bro, like, yo, freestyle my shit. I said my shit first. Like, y'all niggas is like,
Sean get his man. Sean get his respect, man. Come on, he had the best verse on All Me. Like, come on, like Sean got tons of great verses. You know, he got tons of great verses. But I do think that he does have like a little chip on his shoulder, and I think that's what we need Sean to have for him to deliver the type of shit that we want from him right now. I feel like a lot of his music in the past couple of years that he put out, I wouldn't say felt comfortable, but it felt a little lax. You know what I mean? So maybe he does need to have this chip on his shoulder when niggas sleeping on him for him to do what everybody thinks he can't do. What we know he can't.
I'm wondering how much that happens beyond even Big Sean, because I remember him talking about it on the radio of how kind of like shit he asked it was like, yo, y'all really think like Kendrick like really outdid me like on the song? And for him to even have that conversation, I think that those conversations happen a lot. I think he's just one of the artists that's pure enough to even like bring it public. You get me? Or even admit to like, yo, yeah, I talked to that dude like 2 Chainz about like him thinking he had a better verse. Like, what? So I respect him for that, but he's definitely underrated.
Okay, well, let's see how soon we get this project. In closing, yesterday when we first mentioned this, I couldn't even remember 2 Chainz' verse. I'm so surprised. This is one of those that like sticks in your head because the shit was so funny when it dropped. I can't believe it.
Couldn't, or y'all couldn't. I couldn't.
You could.
All right.
Man, y'all can't name 3 lines right now.
Oh my God. All right, guys, thank you for watching Everyday Struggle. It's our last show of the week, so we're going to be back on Monday. You can keep sending us your fan questions. What are you guys doing this weekend? Nothing?
I'm going to Costco. Like, that's the best part of my fucking week. You know what I mean? Going to Costco, watching some TV, chilling with the kids, chilling with the family, staying in quarantine, you know?
Yeah, it was interesting hearing Boosie compare Walmart to the mall, saying that's the only place I really could go outside the crib and kind of like you got to dress up for. But still, like, I'm still amazed. Like, I'm actually thinking about legit, like, really wearing a face mask, like, while I'm out in public. Like,
you don't wear a mask?
Well,
no,
it's mandatory in New York now.
I know it's mandatory in New York.
I
think Cuomo, we actually made that order recently, but like, I've been driving around and like, to be honest, like, I thought it was only going to be the people who are like super like OCD or just like germaphobe who were doing it. And to be honest, like, I feel like I'm the only one without a mask. And I'm like, again,
academics, you gotta come up out of that, come from under that rock you live under, bro.
Like, no, but also no, like, I think about, yo, apparently the mask ain't even to stop you from catching it. It's to contain whatever germs you have.
Yeah. Did you turn on the news for the first time, academics?
Yeah, but I thought it was to protect yourself.
Nah, but that's what it's always been. So the whole thing with the mask, I learned that I went to Japan a few years ago, and a lot of people out there wear masks, but that's the reason why they wear masks, is because if they're sick, they don't want to, get anybody else sick. That's the reason why they wear masks, not because they're scared of breathing in air. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you know how they say we're supposed to stay 6 feet apart, like if you were to cough or sneeze, like most of the droplets should land before then. But then I've seen some simulations where like if a breeze blows, it could travel like 20 feet. So the mask, like Wayno says, just helps stop the.
But let me tell you something about that. That whole shit is bullshit, because guess what? Every time I go to the supermarket, they talk this stay 6 feet away people shit, right? You go to the supermarket, you at the register. The lady or the dude that's at the next register, it's open. They right next to you. So it's like, if they got it, the shit could get to you. I just think that, you got to stay as safe as possible. But a lot of these guidelines is kind of bugged. It's like, it's kind of impossible to enforce a lot of it.
Yo,
Well,
it's crazy for me to see like people lined up outside of like I think it was Costco yesterday. I saw.
Everywhere, Costco, Walmart, everywhere.
And I guess they're letting in certain amount of people. Like again, I don't want to go a year with wearing a face mask. Okay, listen, maybe I could get one of the Wayno like Rock Nation edition face masks as designer, but man, like the ones I got, these look very corny. Okay, sorry.
No one expects you to look cool, academics. That's not what we expect from you. So don't even worry about it. And if you guys can find any paper towels at Costco, send some over here. I can't find that shit anywhere.
You gotta go to the store in the corner. You gotta go to the hood. I'm telling you, that's the only way you're gonna get the certain shit that you need.
Yeah, with the one ply that you can't wipe anything with.
You know they're not practicing social distance in the hood though.
You gotta go. You can get that bounty in the hood though. You might be able to find.
Yo, Axe, speak for your own hood. The dudes on my corner are definitely wearing face masks and being safe. But yo,
that's you live in a gated community. I don't know what type of hood you're talking about.
I think you're talking about Wayno, my friend. But anyway, you guys have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you guys here on Monday.
Peace out.